Hello and welcome to StationCharlie. Today I want to share with you my first impressions of the Fenix Airbus A320 add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. We'll start this quick first impressions review with just a bit of background on myself. My name is Charlie and I am a real-world airline pilot flying the Airbus A320 on scheduled and charter routes. I used to fly Beechcraft 1900s and Cessna Caravans, as well as a bunch of smaller bush planes. On top of that, I've also been a flight simulation addict since the days of ProPilot 99 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2002. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get into the review. Fenix have recreated the Airbus A320-200 with CFM 56 engines in a 162-seat single-class configuration, and they've said that free future updates to their A320 will include options such as an IAE engine variant, and Sharklet wingtip devices are apparently on the cards as well. My overall first impression, the Fenix A320 is fantastic. I've only done a handful of short flights with her, but so far I'm very impressed with what Fenix have produced in this product, both in looks and functionality. Bear in mind that I have so far only flown her under normal operational conditions and have not yet tested the aircraft in abnormal or emergency flight regimes. The standout missing feature in this aircraft is the lack of the weather radar functionality, but this is due to Microsoft not having released a weather API yet, although I believe Microsoft have announced that this is coming in Sim Update 10 later this month. At the time of this video, Fenix are selling their A320 at a price point of £49.99, which works out to roughly $60 at the current exchange rate. I would say that this is a more than fair price for what you're getting with this study level aircraft. Flying wise, the aircraft handles very well, and so far I have not seen anything unexpected in the flight characteristics. A direct comparison of the handling feel of this aircraft versus the real thing is difficult to make, due to the differences in input hardware such as the flight stick in the real aircraft versus the various sticks people use to fly sims with. But I will say that so far she generally feels right compared to the real deal. The way the aircraft is responsive to winds and turbulence also feels right. I will keep flying the Fenix over the next few weeks and months, and we'll expand on this in future videos. The flight deck is a highly accurate representation of the real thing and is beautifully modeled and textured by Fenix. The attention to detail all round with this aircraft is very impressive, and it is probably the most realistic looking flight deck of any aircraft I've flown in a home sim so far. The flight deck has wear and tear marks in all the right high use places, such as the lighting and radio knobs. Almost every switch and knob in the flight deck is animated, and on top of that, this model has something like 288 working and animated circuit breakers. The lighting is also excellent and accurately reproduces the real thing's beautiful flight deck lighting at night. Systems wise, the Fenix A320 is packed with study level features, among which are two very accurately replicated MCDUs. MCDU stands for Multi-Purpose Control and Display Unit, and allows you to interface with the flight management and guidance computers of the Airbus. This is where you set up navigation and performance data for each flight, and in this case also allows you to set up various failures, calibrate your flight sim hardware for the Fenix A320, get weather information for the flight, download your SimBrief flight data, as well as interact with online ATC through the Hoppy ACARS integration. Fenix have said that their A320 allows for setting up more than 200 various failures, and over time I'll be testing these and we'll talk about some of them in future videos. Fenix have provided two iPads in the flight deck which contain the electronic flight bag. The EFB has 5 applications installed plus EFB settings. It also features SimBrief and Navigraph charts integration. The Fenix app provides flight information, ground service and pushback interaction, aircraft mass and balance calculation, panel states and sim settings. From here you can download your SimBrief flight and load plan and start boarding, loading and fueling, etc. The Departure Performance app allows you to calculate your takeoff performance and takeoff speeds based on the runway in use, weather conditions, and the mass and balance of the aircraft. The Arrival Performance app allows you to do some basic landing performance calculations, such as working out your landing and factored landing distances. The Navigraph app lets you connect your Navigraph charts subscription and load your planned flight from SimBrief, so that you have all the required charts right there with you in the flight deck. Fenix have included a function for drawing on the charts, which I must say stood out to me as a very useful and impressive little feature, as this is something I use in real life on a daily basis in the real aircraft in Jeppesen Flight Deck Pro. The Pilot Brief app brings in all your SimBrief paperwork, such as your operational flight plan, weather briefing and NOTAMs, etc. This is very useful to have in the virtual flight deck with you while setting up and preparing for the flight, as well as during the flight itself. A very nifty feature of the Fenix EFB is that you can access the EFB outside of FlightSim through a browser window on your PC or an external device, as long as the device is on the same network as the computer running FlightSim. So if you have an iPad or some other tablet, you can set it up next to your PC and access the EFB that way. I would like to see Fenix further expand on the departure and arrival performance apps to include extra calculations such as climb gradients, which are used every day in the real aircraft for determining things like approach minimums for certain approaches, etc. Fenix have said that they will be expanding on the EFB features with future updates, so hopefully some of these extra data points will be included eventually. What can I say about the exterior of this aircraft? Well, a picture speaks 1,000 words, and overall Fenix have done an excellent job of modeling, texturing and animating their A320. From the individual rivets on the aircraft to the fan blades, everything looks just right. I really have to go to a deep nitpicking level to find areas lacking with the exterior modeling and texturing of this aircraft. The only minor details missing are tiny things like brake weapons, and some less detailed texturing in the wheel wells is present. But that is much of a muchness, and overall I am very satisfied with the look and feel of the exterior of this aircraft. Fenix do include over 180 free downloadable liveries through the Fenix desktop application, and there are many free liveries also available on flightsim.to and the like, so there's definitely something for everyone. The cabin interior looks great. From the galleys to the 162 passenger seats, there really isn't much to say except well done Fenix. The soundscape of this aircraft is very immersive. From the beautiful sound of the two CFM engines running up to flex power to the fan noise in the flight deck, Fenix have done a great job of making you feel like you are in the real thing. FPS performance is very good with the Fenix A320, and the aircraft seems to be very well optimized in general. Compared to some of other study level add-ons for MSFS and X-Plane, it doesn't seem to drag the frame rate into the gutter and feels pretty smooth. I have tested the Fenix on my desktop gaming PC, which has an i7-12700K and an RTX 3080 Ti, as well as on my Acer Predator gaming laptop, which runs on an RTX 3060 laptop GPU with an i7-10750H CPU, and on both she seems to run very well. Fenix do provide some options for lower resolution flight deck textures, display quality, as well as choosing whether to run the displays from your CPU or your GPU, depending on where your performance bottleneck is. So in conclusion, from my initial testing, I am very impressed with what Fenix has managed to deliver with this aircraft, and I look forward to see what the team has in store for us with updates and other aircraft in future. I suspect that this aircraft will become my new at-home practice and preparation A320 sim, as well as a daily driver for enjoying all the stunning destinations that MSFS has to offer. Well done Fenix, keep it up.